Hello everyone, welcome to our Saturday night D&D session where we follow the exploits of Team Soteria, the Triboar branch of Acquisitions Incorporated. They are currently back in that same town, relaxing at Clinks and Drinks, taking stock of the events that have occurred recently, and they're just exploring the town, getting some stuff done, doing errands and stuff like that. And that involved going to the blacksmith, picking up a new cart that they had customized to act like a food cart, or the fancy equivalent of a food truck. And let's see what else they did in the morning. They got some mail, and then I think that's about what they did last session. Did I miss anything?
Just a bit of shopping.
Yeah, I think that was it.
There was a brief contest to see who got the mail. And yes, our intrepid tiefling rogue made use of a magic item to cast haste on herself, and was able to beat our other tiefling friend, Bard, in retrieving the mail.
I'm still upset.
But yeah, you guys, after shopping and conversing amongst each other and talking, you guys are back at Clinks and Drinks. And let's just say it's shortly after lunch, so you guys have eaten lunch, and it's early afternoon now. You got pretty much the rest of the day ahead of you, so I'll let you guys get on with it and just step back.
Okay. So, we're awake, doing things. Indy would be playing. Yeah, I'd definitely be like getting my loot tuned in the morning.
Well, it's not morning, it's early afternoon. It's still the same day.
I am done. Okay. Early afternoon, like lunchtime?
Just after lunch, you guys have eaten lunch. I'm not gonna,
In that case, I'm going to live my dream life and take a nap.
Alright, you take a nap. You go upstairs into your room.
See you guys next week.
You are sort of since the lunch crowd has sort of picked up a bit. You are lulled to sleep by the din of conversation and the sweet stylings of your resident bard that plays that you've hired specifically to play. 'Cause you can't always be there, but she helps earn you money. Her name is oh god, I wrote this name and I haven't said it since. Aode Silverstring. Or Aode?
You better not fucking take my loot.
That's her name. She's a half-elf bard. And she is just... There's a small stage you guys got, and she's just, very, very low. But you can still hear it.
Yeah, you better not take my loot.
You know that list of add-ons to the place, like prices.
Oh yes, those are under. That's under Acquisition Incorporated, miscellaneous, and then Clinks and Drinks handout.
Oh, okay. I was looking on Discord. That might be.
I think I posted in there too, but in Roll20, that's where it is as well. So Indy has decided to take a rest. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Would I have an actual list of this? Because then Nat might be looking over this as the.
We'll say yeah. The builders when they built when they were there in town during the festival, there's a plethora of builders sort of left over after they had built the stalls and attractions and the course for the kart race, stuff like that. And so you recruited someone to help you refurbish your tavern. And they give you a list of possible improvements, but you didn't have enough gold at the time to sort of implement those.
All right.
I think those are pulled. I added your steeds as well in there, Apples, Perkins, and Ukman. And I think I pulled it from the Strongholds and Followers sort of PDF that came out a couple months ago. Okay.
Cool.
If you guys are at a loss for what to do and don't just want to waste the day away like a lazy Sunday, keep in mind you did the Lord Protector did ask to see you at your earliest convenience about a matter concerning a marketplace thief.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Well, then sure. Let's go do that.
Can someone wake me up from my nap?
Metis might, because she's very strict, and she will just poke you and say, well, usually Mage Hand to poke you in the face, saying it's time to wake up. Your team is leaving you. You need to go out and make money, make this franchise profitable.
Okay. Okay, well. I go.
Yeah, come help us do this thing.
Rashemi, do you follow along?
Yeah, sure.
See, even in this fantasy world, naps are not real for me.
I mean, what's your constitution? Like, what you got going on here?
Good question. My constitution.
Because that's like your stamina, like you know.
I got a constitution of +2.
Yes, that's above average. You shouldn't be tired in a normal day.
Actually, my strength is average. That's the only thing that's average about Indy, which is honestly not. Like, I have really good stats for Indy.
Yeah. Well, a lot of you guys have really good stats for that. But yeah. So you guys make your. Is everyone in agreement to make their way to? I didn't ask Hacksteer because I'm assuming because she can't talk, and so I'm just going to assume she is going to go with you. You can type if you dissent at any point in time. All right, so you guys make your way to the tower in the middle of town, in the middle of the marketplace, an imposing 3-story structure, the largest building in town, completely made out of stone. And the guards there have been expecting you, so they let you through. They do give you some wary glances, particularly the 2 tieflings.
Ah, yes, racism.
Well, you didn't do anything to assuage their fears last time you were in town for extended a bit.
That is true.
It's, well, let's see. You can do an insight
I
check.
did break into. Was that? Yeah. Last time we were in town for a while, I broke into the thingy.
Yeah, it's probably they're looking at you not as they're looking at you like don't try anything. Get your eyes on you. It's not due to a racial hatred because they would also have eyed the other members of your party probably Nat as well, being a sort of non humanoid or individual. Not to say you aren't humanoid, but you don't have skin showing, you don't have same complexion, that sort of thing. But it's more like you at one point were wanted criminals in this town, so it's due to that.
Yeah, I mean that tracks.
But you make your way up to the top floor where that constitutes I'm sorry, I'm drinking soda, so I got the burps. You make your way to the top floor, which is Darathra Sindrel's office. She is the Lord Protector of Triboar. And she looks down from her, she looks up from her glasses at you guys. She's swamped with paperwork, but she says, "Oh, you're here. Good. I assume you got my letter in the mail."
Yep.
You're always in and out of town, so I thought it best to send you letters if I need your assistance in a particular matter.
Sounds like a good plan.
So, well, let's get right down to business. She says, I wasn't aware your team had a secretary. And how? She says, I don't understand how that would help. Do secretaries from Acquisitions Incorporated know the sending spell?
Sorry, what was that?
Type. She doesn't seem to she knows you're part of the adventuring company Acquisitions Incorporated, but she doesn't seem to know the particulars or the job roles you all have. She just sees you as one sort of group. Ah, I see. Well, if I do happen to happen upon another group that's passing through town, I will be sure to, and I need to get in touch with you, I'll be sure to ask their secretarian. She's almost tasting the word as she says it. It's unfamiliar to her. But back to business. We've had, I'm sure as you read a letter, we've had a little bit of a marketplace thief that's been going about now for a couple of weeks. They've pretty much hit most of the major stores in town, as well as the smaller stalls and shops in the marketplace. The 12 aren't really designed to handle this, mainly to deal with external threats and things of that nature. Most of the citizens of the tribe are God-fearing and abide by laws. So I have to turn to you instead.
We would be happy to take care of this for you.
I'm willing to pay
It
you.
is our duty, after all.
Yes, I'm willing to pay you 100 gold for your efforts. If you capture the thief, or you provide information that leads to their capture. I would prefer, of course, since thievery isn't a capital offense, I would prefer if you can capture them alive, so they can be brought to justice, but I understand that if they do attack you, sometimes self-defense is necessary.
I'm good at bringing people in alive. Got a lot of spells for that.
Nat is an expert at non-lethal takedowns.
She seems to be.
You sound like I'm a wrestler or something.
She seems to be regarding you
Body
now,
slam.
Nat. Have you met Darathra Stindrel before?
The name does not sound familiar.
Okay. She says, well, I don't believe we've met. You are a new addition. Same from Ashemi, right?
I believe I met her at the first time I was in town or something like
Yeah,
that.
were you there for the festival?
Yes.
Okay, then you would have met her then. Yeah, 'cause I don't believe we've met. Are you a? You are a new addition to Team Soteria?
Yes, I am their new horse person.
Horde. She seems to say under her breath, almost hordes person. Well,
I'm in charge of the money.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Drathra Sindrel, Lord Protector of Triboar. I hope we will get along in the future and won't have any problems.
I hope so too. That'll do a little bow.
And she says, "As I have a list," and she hands you a list of the more establishments that they have.
And I'm checking it twice.
That they have have reported items being stolen. You can overlook it. I would suggest talking to all these shop owners and seeing if they can provide you with more information.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I hope you resolve this matter quickly.
Anything you can tell us about this character?
No one has really, not much, only that no one has really gotten a good look at who it is. If there's conflicting reports, and it's just strange. The whole situation is very strange. You should ask the people, the shop owners themselves. They'll provide you more information.
All right.
And did you say that they had a list of the items stolen?
Yes. Well, they have only on there are the lists of the people that have been stolen. The businesses. They are, if you want to know.
Yes, please.
And
See if they have anything in common.
I don't know what they did. Well, I know I did not do it in alphabetical order. I don't know what order I did this in, but here we go. And all of these are under the Triboar, sort of like locations, and then Triboar, and then there's like a list of locations in there that correlate to T whatever. Big Daddy Dinar's Yum Yum Hut, the Lion's Share, the Triboar Baking Company, Clinks and Drinks, Olden Ass Arms, and the Pleasing Platter.
They all sounded like restaurants or places you can eat. So, were there any that weren't?
The Lion's Share, you would have seen that on the way, and the Lion's Share is a general store.
You can get food from a general store.
But the rest...
They have Slim Jims.
Olden Ass Arms is also the place you were at recently. They are the weaponsmith. But the rest do serve various types of food.
Olden Ass Arms? Is that what?
Oldenath. Nath.
Oldenath. Okay.
Not Olden Nass.
Since that's kind of the one that sticks out, do we want to go and ask and see what was stolen
Turns
from
out
there?
they just sell chicken wings.
I'm posting all these. Well, you know Clinks and Drinks. I don't need to post that, but the rest I'll post. That's her name from Raw, I believe. Okay, I didn't change that. I just changed her first name because her first name was
This
horrible.
is what happens when you don't change the names.
I just changed her first name to Harriet because I felt I actually don't remember if I changed her name at all because her name is actually kind of normal. But yes, it's Harriet Oldnath is the person who runs it. Lion's Share. I did change Lion's Share proprietors' names completely because, yeah. And Big Daddy Dinar's Yum Yum Hut. I should have, but I did not change this name. You all know who runs it. But yeah, those are all the shops. That's excluding your establishment because I felt like you know where that is and what it's called, so I don't include that there. But there's also been some thievery about.
I think we should start.
Even at our place, huh?
That's true. We should start with our place, but I think we should go to the Yum Yum Hut. That'd be a very important place to start.
I agree.
But let's go to see what our home house has been dealing with.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any place that we can go by just like on the way there that we can stop inside and see what happens?
Let's see the map.
No need to walk back and forth across town if you don't have to.
Yeah.
So your place is T14. You're currently at T1, and your place is T14. So along the way, I don't think anyone No, nothing got stolen. T8, no. Nothing's been stolen from there. So there's nothing in between here and there. Most of the stuff has been stolen on this side of Triboar, the east side. Sorry. They're either along the main road or on the east side.
Okay.
So I guess we
Sounds
could
good.
immediately
Yeah.
go out and just start checking stuff around the what's the hall called in the middle of the sort of trading square area? T1.
T1 just it doesn't have a name. It's just a tower.
Okay. I thought that's where Lord Protector is, though.
Yes, that's where you are currently.
Okay. So we could sort of check out like T5, T16 area. Those are places, right?
Yes, T5 is Big Daddy Dinar's Yum Yum Hut.
there it
T6 is the general store.
It's
The lion's
that
share.
boy.
Let's just get in there, huh? Let's just get in that Yum Yum Hut.
Yeah.
In that hut,
Sounds good.
they are. As you approach the Yum Yum Hut, you can see that it is afternoon now. Afternoon. School has just let out. There are a bunch of kids around, purchasing the latest and greatest in Cornerstone technology. They are advertising. They are advertising their sort of fall blend, the pumpkin spice latte of Cornerstones.
Pumpkin spice stone.
Oh, I gotta get one of those.
And you can
And
use
it appears to
like
be
a
all the
brick.
rage because there are plenty of kids in town here, and you guys are kind of like, you're not exactly like shoving them out of the way, but you're like an icebreaker against the ice because they're just it's the sea of children you're pushing through to get to.
Are you like the same size as them pretty much? Because you're like 5 foot or like 4 foot.
I am 4'5".
You just see her ears. I'm sorry, you see their ears above the heads of the children.
And can I get one of those pumpkin spice cornerstones, please?
Oh, that'll be. So you see Storf. Sorry, I forgot how Jerry played him, so I'm just gonna play him how I view Storf manly. And he says, "Well, that'll be." I'm also about the prices as well, so I'll make them in my head. That'll be 2 copper pieces.
I dump like 3 gold pieces and then take.
Oh!
Thank
He
you.
just brings out a whole. He just gets a. There's a
Holy shit,
whole
that's so
tray of like a baking tray.
Oh, I don't need all those. I just need the one. I know let everyone else can take as many as they want.
Sure, that thing about you.
Yeah, Indy will definitely take some if you're
Have some,
buying
Chris.
rounds.
Eat your
I'll
fill.
toss them out to. Hold on.
He says, "Careful, careful! They're hot."
Oh,
I'll give some.
Oh
hold
god,
on.
they're so hot.
I'll give some to the kids as well.
The filling can burn the mouth if you're not careful.
I'm taking fire damage.
I have. So, great news! I've got resistance to fire damage, so I am just chucking them in my mouth.
Oh, there's like an audible sizzle.
Yeah, there's a smell of burning flesh now as it's wafting faintly through the air, but it is rapidly overcome by the smell of the pumpkin spice cornerstones.
Pretty jealous. I look pretty
seen
jealous.
that comic where it's
Okay,
like,
I'll
what
take-
the hell?
I'll take-
The only thing to eat is burning
Okay,
up.
so
It's
do-
like keeps eating it no matter what.
I'll take 1d4 fire damage. Let's see.
Well, you gotta divide that in half.
It's a 1, so I take half.
You
Take
can't take half
don't
of
take
1.
any.
You can't take half of
Take no
1.
damage. Oh, come on, you gotta round down.
No,
Oh,
1
you
is the
take
minimum
1
you
point
have.
of
There have to be
damage.
some repercussions for irresponsible
Wait, no,
actions.
I need to actually know this because I may or may not be using this kind of information later campaign. Like if you roll a 1 on the damage against a creature that has resistance to it.
I believe they still take 1 damage
Okay.
because it's not immunity to damage.
Rashemi contemplates using absorb elements.
I'm not I'm not Perkins. I won't give you half a hit point.
Yeah, God, the half a hit point thing.
When was that?
That was kind of
Rewatch it.
probably.
You whatever you want to
What's your
use.
dice?
That was when they were doing their version of Dragon Heist, when they were infiltrating the bank of the Castellanters.
And
The Tiefling went into the
Castellanters.
and they tried to mess with some succubi and incubi,
I don't know.
and they it didn't go well for them. And
Believe-
Viari first tried to steal from a leader of a thieves guild, essentially, and it didn't go well for him.
I just couldn't believe that
Focus and
Holly spent all that time trying to polymorph a shapeshifter.
Yeah, and casting
Anyways,
fireball
way
on
off
them. It's
track.
like, well, they're fiends though. They're like you, like they're resistant to fire. You should know this.
The hell with optimal.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that was her or if that was Jim, but one of them did that. I was like, you fought fiends
Wait.
before, you know. Jim wouldn't know
Did
or
we just
care.
buy
I think.
and then leave? Did we buy the cornerstones and then just leave? Did we just forget?
I'm assuming you're still in the store. These islands in a
I think
sea of
it's funnier
in a
if we
sea of
just
school
forget.
children.
Yeah, we're just like chunking cornerstones into children and watching them run around.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
it's just like-
They're gossiping. They're sitting in the booths and in the chairs, gossiping about the latest trends. You know, the latest.
They're
I don't
talking
know.
about TikTok.
The
which
latest
is
app on their
watch
scrolls
technology.
or for scrolls and books or whatever. I don't know.
Rashemi,
What's going on in Witch? You know.
He'll walk up to a group of school children and get really close to them and say, "What do you know about a thief?"
Ah!
Oh,
There is no
ooh.
intimidation check required. You are a very large adult and you have a very angry face. It's constantly.
You
So
got a
they
lot of
run
crumbs,
away.
You know, in your beard. A lot of that too.
They flee in panic.
Must have not known anything.
Why would you not ask the owner?
Please stop scaring my customers. If you are going to continue such actions, I'll have to ask you to leave or I'll call a member of the 12.
Come on, yeah, Ron, come on. I was just getting them to like us. I'm giving them food.
Apologies.
I'm
I get
sorry, everyone. He's dumb and big.
Do you serve coffee here?
Oh yes, we serve
It's
coffee
fall,
and
we
tea.
can't do this.
I'll take a coffee.
Can you wait for that to cool? Anyways, so we've been tasked with finding this thief that's been going around here. Can you give us any kind of information? What was stolen? If you got any look at them?
Oh, yes, you are from the Lord Protector, that team from that company that I can't remember, but it doesn't matter.
Nope. Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, we usually have we refresh our stock every day, freshly baked, of course, per the Big Daddy Dinar's Yum Yum Hut, franchise license. We have certain rules we agree to. Freshly baked cornerstones every day. We usually, if when we're not this packed, we try to let them cool, a bit before we serve them to our customers, but we simply don't have the time. But yes, we usually have them
if someone spills it on their lap.
cooling or on display so people can see. We usually change the icing color a bit. It Helios and close. It excites the children to see different colors.
Yeah, that sounds like children.
But
It excites me to see different colors.
we change the icing color and we have them on display so people can see the products we have. And but during this busy time, I can't keep track of everything. And then I notice that some of our display items are missing when everyone is gone.
Are they sustainably sourced?
I don't know what that means.
I mean, isn't literally everything in this time? Like, you can't really not.
There's not really like agricultural industry in this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
But yeah, he doesn't know what it means. He's like, I don't know what that means.
It's the hottest new trend.
So there's only items missing. You didn't see somebody take them.
No, but they would have had to. The thief would have had to blend it in with the children because I didn't reckon an adult like yourselves obviously stands out, as you can see.
Right.
So
there was
either a child or a
only
very
children
small person, much like your tabaxi friend there.
They are.
But you didn't have like any adult customers that could have been it.
Well, it was during the busy hour, which was just after school lets out. The adults generally stay away from this time because it's sort of overrun by children. I get more adult customers early in the morning, and later in the evening.
So probably somebody small.
Yes, a very
Halfling.
small individual. A
Gnome.
child or a
Is it
small
racist to
adult.
say Kenku?
Or, yes, a small creature, maybe a gnome or a halfling.
Is a baby halfling or a baby gnome just Baby Yoda, pretty much, like, in terms of scale? I've been watching The Mandalorian. It's a good show.
What was it? Well, I would have noticed a small green one. That just would have stood out.
Oh, maybe goblin.
Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby
There's
Yoda.
he says there were no unusual races or people that stood out to me on the days that they were stolen.
Maybe it was a kid. Same. All right. Well, thank you for your time. We're gonna go check some other places now.
I look forward to you solving this case as soon as possible.
Yes. We'll
From
get
what I
it done
hear,
ASAP.
I'm not the only one who's been a victim
Yes, definitely.
of this heinous criminal.
To be honest, when I was a kid, I would have done a similar thing. I start to reach over to snag.
Stop that.
Actually,
There's a sleight of hand check if you want to do it stealthily.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna steal it off of our own plate.
I don't think you need that.
But like,
You literally have a baking tray. He says, well,
I want to
apologies,
do
I
it
will-
without
you-
anyone noticing.
you've
I want
only
to try.
eaten-
Hold on. No, I want to. Can I say something?
Yeah.
I want to take the baking tray and leave a couple there.
Okay, yeah, you could try to take the baking tray. It is a very large object, so this will be a disadvantage, though.
Let's do it. I've got a good sleight of hand. Can't slap my hand if
You will notice him as soon as you walk out the room. The establishment, he'll be
Okay,
carrying
so
a
it
large
is six-
tray as big as him, so you'll be able to see it.
Dang it!
You can't
I could
hide
have
that.
had a natural 20, but it's a 16.
Okay, so yes, basically what happens is a bunch of children start pestering Storf Manley for more cornerstones, and he rushes off. He just says, apologies, I have customers to attend to. Just leave the tray. And you manage to take it out
Eddie.
without anyone seeing. Now you can roll perception check to spot it now, but if you want. But it'll rapidly become apparent once you leave the establishment that he is carrying this large metal tray with him.
Okay. Correction. On a plate, like a plate, just stack all of them up.
They usually use like a waxy, papery sort of thing that you can that's disposable and degradable.
Oh yeah,
biodegradable.
I'll just take the wax paper then.
Yeah, you bundle up. You basically the wax paper. You just bundle it up in this huge sort of wax paper, almost like sack, and you take it with you. And Caxir does see you take this bundle with you, but technically you aren't stealing because you did pay for them.
But do I see Cax seeing me.
Oh lord, just a bunch of PvP rolls. Okay, here we go. You can roll perception to see if you see Caxir notice you stealing, in quotes.
It's a 15 plus perception. That's a 23.
You do see you do notice that Caxir has noticed you trying to be sneaky by taking your own things that you paid for.
Alright, come on, guys. Let's just go to the next.
Did that come out over the mic?
The shush did?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, I did.
cool.
As soon as you
Okay,
leave
we move on. I'm chowing down on him.
As soon as you leave the counter, your place is filled in by a swarm of school children, all trying
Now
to
that the
get.
scary man is gone.
Now, yes, there is a sort of there's a bubble around Rashemi though. So while most of you have to push your way through, there is like this about a 2-foot gap around Rashemi that no child dares cross because of his angry face. Vera is chiding you to smile, to try to smile because you're scaring the children.
I smile a horrible grin.
It is even worse, and the gap increases to 3 feet.
So I say, so it is. Did he say it was around this time that the person was taking things?
Yes, he did say it was during the busy hour where he can't sort
Yeah.
of keep an eye on everything going on in the store.
Well, does someone want to stay here while we continue going, checking the other places? It could be that they'd show up here.
Well, let's check the next place and see if there's any, repeat incidents. Because I mean, they only ever stole from this place once, so maybe they only do that.
He didn't say it happened a couple of times. I'm sorry,
Oh, he
if
did?
I didn't say that, that's what I meant for him to say. He said it happened a couple of
Well
times.
then, yeah, sure.
I'll stay here then.
Okay.
Vera's like, we're gonna.
If anybody, both that.
Yeah.
Vera says, basically, when we get back to Clinks and Drinks and there's a mirror, we're gonna practice on smiling.
I mumble. I grumble.
All right.
All right, off to the next place.
The next closest place is just across the street, the Lion's Share, the general store.
All right. We'll
Hey,
walk
do you
in
mind?
there.
Does someone mind posting Roll20 chat? I need to make sure my headset's working correctly.
Just posting it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I get the sound.
Was that you did want to go to the Lion's Share, right?
Okay, try it. Can you try it again? I'm sorry, I'm just.
All right, you head across the street.
No.
Making your way, wading through children, and you make your way to the Lion's Share. The sign is a lion guarding, or like one paw on a chest, and sort of batting away an unseen assailant or thief. And you make your way in, and you see a very well stocked and neat general store. There are, rows of any item a aspiring or even seasoned adventurer would need, like
Got it fixed.
rope, rations, sleeping bags, torches, flint and tinder, basically everything. A lot of stuff that's included in your adventure, your explorer's pack, and more here. They have.
It's like the beginner store.
Yeah, it's like a general store for anything you need, really. They got some weapons here too, and some like leather armors as well, and stuff like that.
All right.
You see
let's go talk to the owner.
You see a very sort of dusky-skinned man and woman say, "Hello, welcome to the Lion's Share. You're not one of our usual customers, but is there anything I can get for you today?"
Yeah, we were sent here to investigate the thief that's been stealing from a couple
Oh,
places around
yes,
town.
we did put in a request to Lord Protector, so you're the people that she rounded up. Yes. Well,
Indeed, we are.
she's giving you a look over as in to try to discern your trustworthiness or capabilities, maybe. Um, she's you look. She looks at the two tieflings. She says, "You look familiar somehow, but I can't quite place
Nope.
it.
What's up?
Must have one of those faces, I guess."
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Two faces that have that.
If you recall, Indy and Cax, your trial was a very public affair.
Oh yeah,
Everyone
I know.
in town was there.
Yep.
What's going on? What? Have you shopped here
Nothing.
before? How do you? How
Nah,
do you?
that's it's nothing.
Oh yes, we wrote up a list of what was stolen, and so let's see. And she pulls out sort of a piece of paper from one of her. She's wearing an apron from her apron pocket, and she says, "Let's see here. 50 feet of hemp rope, 1 bedroll, 1 tent, 2 water skins,
Ooh, sorry.
10 torches, and 2 flint and tinders."
That sounds like a lot of basic adventuring gear.
Yeah. So we've got people who got rations. We've got people who now have basic adventuring gear. This sounds like a child.
She says, "I don't." And that's the thing, though. A child in this store is kind of unusual.
Have you seen anyone unusual in here though?
I haven't. We mostly
maybe
do
a
get.
smaller race, like a dwarf,
We
a halfling,
Well, halflings are pretty rare in this part of the Sword Coast. We're sort of
gnome.
and gnomes as well. We do get the occasional dwarf, but we mainly have humans come through. And they're usually almost always adventurers, or would-be adventurers, or travelers, looking to stock up before they hit the road again.
Right. Do you know when did you notice that the items were stolen?
About a week ago.
Around what time of day?
And she says, during our busiest time, early in the morning, people are sort of, gearing up before they hit the road. And so they try to, they forget something or try to buy something at the last moment that they think they need for the journey. And so they stop by the Lion's Share to pick it up. So usually pretty crowded first thing in the morning, and it sort of peters out throughout the day. But yeah, I didn't notice anyone suspicious. No one wearing, she pantomimes, wearing a cloak or acting mischievous.
Thank you. This is very useful. It sounds like they're going to places when they're the most busy. So we should keep that in mind. Yeah. Anybody else got anything? I think it's just Indy right now.
No, I'm just typing up notes. Cornerstones.
All right. Well, then, thank you very much. We will apprehend this thief as soon as possible.
Yes, thank you.
Now we'll leave and head to the next one.
The next closest would be probably we already went to Triboar Bake. No wait, Triboar Baking Company might be, as well as Olden Ass Arms or the Pleasing Platter. Pleasing Platter is right here. Triboar Baking Company, I believe, is T11, right there, and Olden Ass Arms is T17. Those are the 3 places that you have not been to, not including your own establishment. at T14.
Is our own establishment closer?
Your own establishment on the
kinda
other
far away?
side of town. It's up to you where you want to go. So,
Well, I want to go to the arms place. See what's.
all right. Along the way, you will pass the
Yeah.
baking company.
Oh, okay. Let's go there.
Okay, yeah, so that's we can stop there too.
I
All
mean,
right.
if we get the same info from the baking company that they're just going to the busiest places, then I think we can just start looking for what places are busy around town right now and see if we notice anything.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
for
you
now, let's
guys
go to the baking.
make your way to the baking company. You begin to, as you approach, begin to smell the aroma of freshly baked bread. And you do see that some are on display in the window.
I ate so many cornerstones, but my stomach growls again.
I get that checked out.
It's just like Jones's Crom or
And you
Has Rashemi noticed anything?
too many teeth down there.
let's go to Rashemi. Rashemi, these kids, now that you sort of, are you wandering around the Yum Yum Hut, or are you just taking a seat?
I'm probably like sitting in a back corner booth, just watching
Okay.
intently,
So
licking an ice cream cone.
no child goes to that, that back corner, but Vera is trying to like get you to talk to the children all the same. She's trying to be like, just try to ask them what's going on their Witch channel. That seems to be something they're talking about a lot. I don't know what that is, but it seems cool.
I don't want to scare them any more than I have already.
Okay. Maybe get one of the more outgoing members of your team to try to help you. We're trying to
I'll
speak.
make sure to bring that up to them.
I do not.
We're on a stake.
You're on your own. I don't know how to deal with children other than giving them food.
I tried that.
Yeah, I can't help you.
Yeah,
Bye.
I'm just watching intently. God. Do I have my terrifying wolf head on?
I don't know, do
To
you?
use my eyes to the eagle.
Do you? That's up to you, my
Probably
dude.
worse.
I would say usually you don't have it on because it is so,
Yeah.
scary to look upon. Usually don't have it on. Usually only put it on when you need it.
I'm right now. I'm between thinking if it would be effective for helping me look for people, but also draw attention to myself because I'm a person with a wolf head. I would say no. I don't have my wolf head. I'm just watching the main group of people, like where he said that things would get stolen and taken.
Yeah, so it's basically like if you've been to like any sort of diner or something like that. There's like the counter, and the counter has like a glass display case in it, and that's where the different colored on like different colored cornerstones are displayed. So you're watching that, and they're still all there.
Okay. Is the busy time of day winding down?
It is winding down now.
Okay. Then I'll probably get up to leave to go rejoin the rest.
All right, you head out and you see them, your group, traveling along the main road north.
Yeah, I'll say, well, if this is a repeat place for them to get food, then they didn't show up today, at least. Can't imagine why they would avoid the place today.
He did say they don't stop by every day.
Yeah.
He said a couple of times during the course of 2 weeks. All right.
But we're going north.
Yes, you're going to T11, the Triboar Baking Company. And this similar to the place you were just at, Rashemi, and for the rest of you as well, has their display cases as well. But they also have, racks of freshly baked bread, cooling as well. They have some on display. In the window there, you can see it's a the whole front is a one big window essentially that displays all their goods, and you can smell the smell of fresh bread, warm fresh bread. You come up, you open the door, and there's a little jingle as the bell rings to let you know that to let the owner know that someone has entered. You see a middle-aged woman working behind the counter. She says, "Oh, welcome, come in, come in." He's like, "You're new to my shop. I don't quite. Wait, you're from that adventuring company, Acquisitions Incorporated, right?"
That's us.
"I thought you looked familiar. That was a good show you guys put on during the festival."
Ah, you must mean
Thank you.
our great race.
Yeah,
It
I
was
didn't.
a success.
Truth be told, I didn't expect you guys to get, first place. I lost a bit of money on that bet there.
Oh, sorry
Well,
to be so successful.
No, I don't hold it against you. Of course, you simply, performed outside my expectations. It's not a bad thing.
Typically, you'd want that from an adventuring company.
I guess I'm sure that I should have viewed employees of such an esteemed adventuring company like Ack Inc. in a better light, I suppose. You didn't sort of
Have a great start.
great start here in town though.
No, we did not.
You didn't?
Oh,
Let's not
you
talk
must
about
be
that.
new to the team. They filter employees out due to death or mutilation all the time in Ack Inc. Anyway,
It happens.
some members of your team were accused of break-in and theft, but there was a public trial, and they got off on time served and a fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
what did you do, Indy?
Okay, so, Cax and I made some mistakes. We were trying to be nice by not waking everyone up during when they were sleeping.
That's not what I heard. I heard you
And
guys broke into the Everwyvern House, the fanciest inn in town,
we
at
did
night, and even admitted to it to the employees there.
Technically, yes, we did break in. We were breaking into a room that we were paying for. Yes. Is that breaking in? Let's say I bought some cornerstones at the Yum Yum Hut, and then I took them out. Would that be stealing?
Ugh, Yum Yum Hut. Why would you want to eat there? Gross.
Have you tried the
I
pumpkin spice?
try and hide the pumpkin spice cornerstone.
Just
Ugh,
pile
gross.
of.
I was the only bakery in town, until they came along.
We probably reek of it.
Yeah. Well, the smell of bread here is still like super overpowering, so she is probably if she was not here, she would have smelled on you. But she says, I was the only bakery in town, until they showed up and had to, ruin what I got going here. People used to go to ask Grella if they needed a cake for any sort of event they had going on in the Desserin Valley. And then these Yum Yum Huts start popping up in every sort of town along the long road.
That's you say there's more than one?
Yeah. They're trying to expand to every town along the long road. There's one in Red Larch. They're trying to put one in Yartar. They're trying to put one in. I'm gonna go here because she would know the town's by Westbridge, and it's Golden Fields even, Amphale.
It seems like it would be difficult to run all of these establishments.
Yeah, I met the person they're named after, Dinar. He's not very smart. I don't know how he's doing this.
Dinar, that does sound. Oh yeah, this is Yum Yum. Interesting. Well, he must have some acquaintances that are helping him with it then, if he is an imbecile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's part of another team of Acquisitions Incorporated.
He's a
Right.
member.
That's cool.
Interesting.
That's giving
Yeah,
me some ideas.
I helped cater for a wedding that one of their people had or something.
Wow, you've quite entwined with our uh, group, I suppose. No wonder you recognized us.
Yes, you have those pins on you that sort of give you away.
Hmm. Well, we're here today to help you.
That's right.
Really?
We hear there's a thief
Oh!
going around.
Yes! The thief! I almost caught the little bastard, but he was too quick for my old legs.
Little, huh? So that's the second time we've heard little.
You got eyes on him?
Well, he was... Yes, I saw him. He was a young human man.
Huh. So that's one of our
I only saw the
suspicious
back of
people.
him, but he had brown hair, and by his height, I would guess. She thinks, how tall are each of you? Because she would compare him to you.
Indy's about
4 or 5
6
She
foot.
wouldn't use Nat. You're too small. What is Indy?
No. Oh my gosh.
How tall is Rashemi and Indy? And
Probably like 6'7".
you're 6 feet 7 inches?
It's really tall, yeah.
Damn.
Holy shit, dude.
Maybe like 6'5".
You're like
That's Dragonborn size.
Oh, really?
Nat is like waist high on you.
Yeah.
I'm bad at
No,
heights.
I've seen 6'7" is like NBA, but like average height for Dragonborn, I believe, is like high 6 feet to 7 feet tall, I believe.
Well, let me look up something real quick.
No, I'm just saying you can be whatever as long as it's within the realm of possibility of your character. Now, obviously, you're like, I'm gonna be an 8 foot tall human. I'll be like, no,
Man.
you're crazy.
No, I mean, this is something I literally thought off the top of my head. I didn't think about it for more than 2 seconds.
The average height for a human in our lives is like in real life in America, I believe, is 5'7".
Huh, so like I'm a little over average.
5'7" or 5'9", I believe. I can't remember which one it is. And girls, it's 5'2" or 5'4". One of those.
That is small, honestly.
I believe that's what it is. The average height.
Well, we'll just say 6 feet then.
About 6.
Okay, so she would. How tall is Indy?
I think he said also around 6.
Okay, she would look at you and she'd say, about a head shorter than your Rashemi friend there.
All right. And oh yeah, what did they steal?
Loaves of bread out on display in the window there. I was tending to some customers, but saw some quick movement out of the corner of my eye. I didn't know, it's just the adrenaline, I guess. I just hopped over this counter and gave chase, but they were quick, little bastard. Ran down south.
Perhaps it's
I
not.
gave chase, but I lost him in the
one
marketplace crowd.
Huh. How big of a town is Triboar again?
Triboar is there's a legend there on the bottom that tells you the feet distance. So it's about 400 feet from the Triboar Baking Company, 400, 500 feet to the marketplace.
I meant more like in terms of like population size.
5,000, I believe, is how much it has, but I can check.
That's a bigger town than I was expecting.
Oh yeah, it's a lot bigger town. I'm gonna look it up to make sure. That's why I got mad when Jerry was like, it's a small town that no one ever visits. I'm like, it's bigger than Red Larch. Stop saying that.
How big is Red Larch? Like 500, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Red Larch is like, if that. Triboar is 2,500. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And so when do you know when they stole?
She says,
the items?
well, they haven't been back since that one time. I think I scared them. scared him off. But it was a rare occurrence because we don't really have many thieves around here.
Yeah.
So do you know what time of day?
Oh, let's see. It was midday because I just pulled a batch from the oven. I do 3 batches a day. Morning, lunch, and dinner time. And I had just pulled a batch out and I was pulling a display, and I was, after that, letting it cool, and then I was helping a customer.
Is that a busy time of day for you?
Not particularly. It's usually in the morning and in the evenings. There were a few people in the shop, though.
All right.
I
Okay.
wouldn't be able to recognize if I saw the back of them, I'd be able to recognize them, but I didn't see their face.
Okay. We thought we had a trend, and then we lost it. All right. Guess we
Yeah.
got to look at more places.
Hmm.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. We'll do our best to catch this.
Yes,
Thief.
please do.
Off to the. They're just next door, right?
Yeah, Old Ass Arms is. There's some farmhouses in between here and
I
there.
still
But
can't
yeah.
stop hearing it as
I
old
feel like
ass.
I feel like you said it on purpose that late now.
No, I'm saying Olden Ass. I'm saying Olden Ass because that's her. It's an apostrophe S. It's an apostrophe S because her last name is Oldenath, but she owns the place, so it's called
Oldenath
Oldenath's Arms.
Oldenath
Okay.
is
Yeah, so it's possessive. It's not ass. I'll put it in the chat again, but that's why I don't think I'm pronouncing it incorrectly.
All right. Well, let's head there.
All right, and you did meet this woman.
We were just back.
And she says, "Oh, back? All right, back so soon."
Yeah, we're here on official businesses.
Oh, you're looking for that thief.
That's the one. How'd you know?
Well, why else would you be here? As soon as you said official business,
No, that's true. Say that.
I did tell.
So yeah, tell us what you know.
All right. Well, they've only stolen small things I wouldn't really notice. And I usually
Something
work
a
the forge.
child could
I usually work the forge during business hours, help customers. I'm busy, I'm busy pounding out metal, cooling it, heating it up, that sort of thing. So I didn't really notice. If it was a larger piece, I would have noticed it being stolen, but they mainly stole like small knives and daggers,
It's something a
and
child would use.
and utensils like forks and stuff like that, and spoons.
Alright.
So I didn't notice it was stolen at first because I sort of have them all out in a bin, in like in a display case bin really, out front. So they're not in the workshop, so to speak, where the bigger pieces are.
I'm trying to think back. What was that? Because we went to the Yum Yum Hut. That was in the display case. Where did we go after that? General store.
General store. Those are on. Think of that more like a shop with like racks and like
Okay,
a
yeah, so that
Walmart
doesn't really have it.
thing,
That doesn't
or a
have
gas station.
That doesn't have one of those. But the other ones were all from display cases.
Yeah. Well, the only one with a display case, like actual case, was the Yum Yum Hut. These
Well,
basically,
yeah, they're like all right
yeah,
out of
she displays them. It's just a rack. It's just a cooling rack that's in front of the window, basically, is what Triboar Baking Company has.
But it was during a busy hour.
Yes, it's when
So
during
we're
a
back
busy
on
time of
that
the day.
trail. You didn't see him.
No, I don't even know if it was him.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Wait, did the guy earlier say boy? Did he say-
It it was Grella that said it was a young man, about a head with
Okay.
brown hair. She only saw his back. She's about a head shorter than Rashemi.
Okay, so pretty basic, normal looking guy.
Let me see if I can do something. Oh, that's 1,000 feet. Um, I want to go back to general store. Yeah. I got another question for him.
Okay.
So I will thank the smith and tell him,
All
we'll
right.
find him as soon as possible.
If you
all
need any
that.
repairs on any of your gear, or you need anything, a new piece of weaponry, stop by.
Of course.
All right. The only place left you have to inquire about, I'm just reminding you, is a pleasing platter and your own establishment.
So basically, I want to go back. I want to ask person, did you notice any like what they anything special? Oh wait, hold on.
They did say they stole standard like adventuring gear or camping gear, like
That's
tents, bedroll, torches, flint and tinder, ropes, water skins.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds
I
like
kind of got to give it away first. But with locate object, does that only locate the closest item? Or does it
Put the text
will it-
in there, so I can read it. Okay, so it looks like it can be either be a specific object known to you, so that has to be like a maybe a distinguishing mark on it, something that marks it apart from its fellows. Or maybe one that you've seen up close in particular, like one that you've seen but misplaced. And then alternatively, it says the spell can be used to locate the nearest object of a particular kind.
Okay, so what I want to do is so wait. Remind me what was stolen again?
So
Flint
they
and
would
steel.
say they
Right.
would
It's basically basic adventuring kit
yeah, basic adventuring gear
and food.
and food, and then olden ass arms. They stole like knives and forks and daggers and stuff like that.
I'm trying to think of what the least common object they stole was. Would it be is flint and steel, is that a common household item at this time?
Well, you
Mine
all
for-
have it on your person. Generally speaking, if you have adventurous kit, you have
get
one.
rid of those. But yeah, is it something that a normal household?
Probably not, because well, maybe it depends. I would think because they don't have matches. Matches aren't really a thing. So they probably a household would probably have flint and tinder to start a fire, especially
Yeah, I
during
feel like
these.
a flint and steel would be pretty common. It's just a rock and a piece of metal.
Yeah, especially during these colder months when it's transitioning into
Yeah.
winter.
Right, because I can't do it on the cornerstone. Because he either could have eaten that, or somebody else could have it now.
Yeah,
that's,
like if there was a special
you
mark on
definitely
a
can't do it.
cornerstone, like if they had like maybe a limited run of cornerstones that had a special brand on it or something, then you could probably, and then that was what was stolen. You could do that.
Maybe okay. Now let's go back.
Back to the smith.
Anything's like
Back to the blacksmith.
about the weapons.
Back to the
It's like
lab again.
Oh, back
if
to her
anything-
place.
Back.
Yeah, because
Back
if
again.
anything is gonna be like stand out.
All right,
It's
give me,
definitely-
give me a perception. You can just talk to her, or you can give me a perception roll.
I mean, I'll just sure. I'll do perception.
All right. So you're looking through, like she said, she has while she's working, she has sort of smaller bins out front that people can peruse. That have more common everyday items like knives and forks and their utensils, spades, stuff like that. You do see that she brands each of her things she makes with a mark, a U and an A.
Okay.
Unearthed Arcana.
All right. So basically, I'm going to walk 1,000 feet away from the place.
And that will get you to about, let's see, it's 200 feet. I'm going to do this light hand, free hand. That's close enough. I should probably just draw a line instead. Now, this is 200 feet. And you are currently at Oldenath's Arms. So you're walking into the center of town to get 1,000 feet away.
Yep.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. You have to go all the way back down to
Okay, so this isn't gonna work.
right here.
Okay, so tell you what, I'm gonna go into the middle of town
All right.
and cast it because it'll do the closest one.
Yes.
So it probably won't be this place over here.
Middle of
It'll be
town.
the
Let me just do
Yeah.
some geometries for myself, just so I can know which one will be the closest. The middle of town is to about 600 feet away. And from that is 1, 2. Yeah, it's pretty much 600 feet from Oldenath's to the center of town, from the center of town to this side road here that says C. That's the last building sort of on the map. So if they're pretty much, not in that direction, if they're on the southern part of town and they're closer to you, you should be able to get them. Or the western or eastern part.
All right, so yeah, I'm basically just gonna walk right into the middle of town, cast it, looking for a dagger with that marking on it. Spell slot. I got more of those.
All right. You don't get anything.
All right, then I'll start walking around town, making sure that stay. Or wait, I don't get anything when I get it from the.
Oh yes, no,
store?
sorry. You would get a blip to the north. Like there's like if these were like points on a map, there's just like a clump of them to the north.
This is weird.
What's up?
They're not. There's none outside of the place.
Outside of what place?
The store with the daggers.
Now keep in mind you're only looking for the closest one.
Hmm.
They could be outside of town.
I guess.
They will, if there is one. Keep in mind your range is 1,000 feet. You're only picking up on the closest one, which is 600 feet away.
Well, okay, so that means they have to be. So, I'm not gonna middle it down here. Can I put a drop shape? Okay, so we're like right there. Basically. Here. Okay. Basically, we need to go in this radius that I can't really keep. So like 33 away. they're outside of this big old radius. So they could be on the edge of town. Like if they're going to be within a building, they would have to be. Yeah. They'd have to be on one of the edges, in one of the buildings to the east. Like far to the east. So I guess it's
Yeah.
over there.
That makes sense. Sounds like a good start.
Alright.
Off we go.
What do you think, Rashimi?
Are we gonna canvass this whole like outside of the town area trying to find them? That could take a while.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that we're just gonna find him in a building. Because I mean, there's not a whole. There's the only place that has buildings outside of my range. Is over to the east. Everything else is within said range. So they literally, if they're not there, they.
Could we not try to lure them to us, perhaps with a honey pot?
I don't know, because like they're not stealing one specific thing that we know would get their attention. So it's kind of.
I lift up the +1 great sword. Maybe
Okay.
perhaps
No, because what is a
great
kid?
sword.
No, because a kid's not gonna steal that.
We can't kill a kid.
So you
They
will get
stole
at this
knives.
point while you're talking, you will get a message from Metis, and it comes through Caxier's sort of thing, and she says, I know you are out doing company business, but Lydia is very distressed. It appears that that her garden has been stolen from.
Oh, okay. Well, would that be right outside of too? Because I don't think there's too many people over there. I can't see what is actually over there. But yeah, let's just head back then.
Yeah, right away. Could have been recent.
Yep. All right. You head on back to the pleasing. I'm sorry, not the pleasing platter. You head on back to Clinks and Drinks, and Lydia is. Once you get there, you head on to the back where her garden is, sort of in between the forest and your establishment, and you see that she is looking very worried, and she is like following these tracks.
Tracks.
She says, and you get close. She says, "Wait, you just stop there. I don't want you to mess
Tracks
with the tracks."
We should follow them now. They could be getting away.
Yeah.
And they are headed back. They are headed. I'll show you where she's saying. So they're weird though. That's what she says. But I'll show you where they're going. So you're basically right. I'll ping where you are at. You're like right here. And she says the tracks are going around the forest's edge, the border of the forest. So they're going like this way. They're not going into the forest. They're going around there.
They're not very skilled. Then.
Yeah. She says, well, the tracks are weird though, because like you guys have experience in tracking, right? Is anyone proficient in survival?
I like to think no.
Survival checks.
No, dang it.
No, but I have a +3.
Got a 0.
All right.
Because I'm a bard, and bards are
She
ridiculous.
says, well, generally speaking, tracks can fade over time or due to weathering, but they don't, for the most part, change their overall shape. They just get less defined. These are not doing that. They are changing shape. They're getting larger the farther they're getting away, which is not what is supposed to happen.
Perhaps
This seems weird. Let's follow.
Perhaps our quarry, a spellcaster.
All right, this will give me.
Fur
Do you want
wolf.
Lydia to accompany you because she's still agonizing over her lost crops, but she will
Yeah.
help you. She'll
Yeah.
follow if you want.
I like that she's.
I mean, it probably isn't gonna be much of a fight, but yeah, you can come with.
All right. She says, "Let's. Who dare steal from my garden? I'll bring the wrath of my leaky down upon them." And Chantea.
I definitely wouldn't.
And she like cracks her knuckles together. All right, you begin following the tracks, and she's pointing out to you. And true enough, they do get larger and larger as you guys travel along. And you're traveling along this way, and so you get to about this point where the arrow ends, and then they get to here, and they keep on going for a bit. And they get to here. And that's where you sort of lose them on this street. Now that is where I'm going to... No, not that. You're not... I meant to do the other thing. I meant to do this thing. Do 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 do. And now, once you guys are sort of standing, and she's like disappointed. She's like, the tracks stop in this road. There's too much traffic here. As you are starting, it's like, I can't track him like this anymore. And as soon as she's lamenting over the fact, for a bit, that she can't track this individual anymore, you have a very faint ping, Nat.
Ah,
Very faint ping. Come from the southeast part of town. Southeast part of town, where the graveyard is located. Maybe even a little past it.
It's a skeleton.
all right. Well, let's hurry that way, everybody.
Did the tracks
To
were
the-
they
to
just
the-
To
boot
the,
prints?
Yeah,
to
to
the
the
bone
graveyard.
zone.
I'm sorry, what?
Were the tracks just boot prints?
They were feet, so basically she'll describe it. It looks like it was a very small, like the tracks, if they are to be believed, and she doesn't, and it's strange even for her, they were very small, almost like a halfling or a small child, she says. But as we go along, the tracks get bigger and bigger. They're bare feet, she says, almost to the point of a full-grown adult.
Weird. Okay.
Changeling.
Could be.
I don't really know how common of knowledge those are anyway, but
I don't think there are changelings. There's doppelgangers.
is that? I thought changelings were an official.
I
Only in
believe
Eberron,
I
right?
think
changelings are Eberron content. Doppelgangers are what they would be called in
Gotcha.
D&D, like proper AL stuff. But I've seen people use the terms interchangeably.
I mean,
But if you want
changeling,
to,
it doesn't really sound that official.
yeah, but
You know?
if you want to push up the bridge of your glasses and rules lawyer it, I believe what I just said was correct.
Oh, and I'm about to. I remember
actually,
I remember watching a whole thing about how in Eberron lore there's like a distinct relation between changelings and doppelgangers, because there's still doppelgangers in Eberron, but some people regard doppelgangers as like mutant changelings, or like they're like divergent evolutions of each other, where they were sort of came from a common ancestor. It's kind of interesting, but I think changelings are.
that is interesting.
Anyways, we need to head to the graveyard.
To the bone zone.
Sure.
Word jail. All right, and you head on over
It's
there.
not
That's,
word jail, it's art.
it is that signal, that pulse is getting stronger, but eventually you do run out of time because you've been tracking this person for quite some time. Now, that's still that point in the direction you're traveling in, you will still reach it, but unless you cast a spell again. they could have moved in that interim time.
I'm gonna, just for the time being, not.
All
Because I
right.
can only do it one more time.
Yeah. So the signal is pointing basically, I will show you where it's pointing. It's pointing to the forest on the edge of town past the graveyard. So like right here.
It's just Caduceus clay.
We could try to
You
track
just
them
want some
down
cornerstones.
off the beaten path.
I'm sorry, say that again?
We could try to track them again too, since we're off
Yes.
the path.
So basically once you get to the edge proper here and you're traveling in like
Oh, what was the direction of its movement?
it was not moving.
Oh, okay. There you go.
But so you sort of follow the road for the most part. Going, I'm just going to continue to draw since I've no, not shake freehand. So you pick it up, but you're going this way. And once you get to about here is where your detect or locate object stops. But you know that it's around in this, somewhere in this area, basically. And so you head that way. Just draw some more arrows. Until you get to about here. And now, since you're off the beaten path and going to the forest, you can make some more survival checks to find some tracks.
Will I do any good?
This is just straight up heart of the
Wow.
dice.
Ho ho!
Survival.
Rashemi!
Hey, those are some good rolls. There you go.
Well, let's see what.
Hey, it was a 19 plus 3, so 22.
All right. So Lydia is like about to step forward and showcase her abilities as like a servant of Maliki and her tracking ability. But you guys are like
just
you and Andy just
over her.
point at the track that you see.
I found a clue.
You're not special.
And she looks very dejected that she couldn't do the one thing she's good at.
How good is she at survival?
Actually, she's +5 to it.
I say
She's
Lydia.
proficient, but she has low wisdom because she's a paladin.
I say, Lydia, maybe you could find the next one. I am at a loss as to where it might be.
She just patronizing.
She just looks at you like you're patronizing me because it's very clearly the direction where the foot is going, and you see the next one just beyond it.
I feel that I have completely fooled her and just smiling, beaming.
She just, while I appreciate the thought, Rashemi, it's don't.
I don't know what you mean, but we shall talk about it.
All right. So these
Oh,
tracks,
get moving.
you notice them now too, Indy and Rashemi. Whereas before they were getting larger, these ones are getting smaller. They're starting at.
Gosh, they keep changing.
This is weird. Why are their feet weird?
Yes, welcome back. So they have basically asked around. They're getting conflicting reports of who this thief might be, and they got a message.
Also, their feet keep changing size.
They got a message from Metis through your amulet. Basically said Lydia was very distraught because someone has been stealing from her vegetable garden, and she didn't. This is a bit backstory I didn't fail to mention. She didn't notice it at first because she was training every day with your mom, and sort of root vegetables don't really require a lot of maintenance. And so she didn't notice they were being stolen until she went out to check them this day and noticed that they were stolen. And she helped you sort of track this individual down, but the strange thing is their tracks are changing. They seem to be growing in size. They are barefoot, but their tracks are growing in size. They're changing. They were
also barefoot, nasty.
Yeah. And you make your way, and you just got to the edge of Triboar, and you found a clue you can locate object. Harriet Oldnath marks all of everything she makes, she puts a U and an A on it to mark sort of her mark on it. And you were able to locate a dagger with that mark on it. And so you're looking for more tracks of this individual, and you see some leading into the forest outside of the graveyard at the edge of the town of Triboar. And these ones, rather than getting larger like the previous ones, were getting smaller. And they look to be about a child's size again. And then give me a perception check, And are you guys trying to be sneaky? Or are you just clumping through?
Yeah, we could try to sneak.
I mean, I'd say
Some
no.
are
I'd say
wearing.
we
Some
need
of us
our
are
men
wearing
to
heavy armor,
catch
though.
I'd say we need to like not risk losing them, because I mean, if we're sneaking, then we're gonna be slow. You know, I think
Yeah,
we
but
just
also,
need to hurry up and catch them.
I mean, they could try to run if they hear you coming. So
I can run faster though, so I don't know. Up to you guys. What do you think?
Oh, I've been muted. I'm just gonna creep along like a little
yeah, so basically, you
sneaky
guys
boy.
are following these tracks into the forest proper, and you occasionally hear your own feet, the crunch of a branch here and there, or stepping on some leaves and making noise with the leaves that have fallen down. These trees are very bare bones now.
Can we make like a stealth check or?
Yep. All right.
That's the
We can do
strange
stealth.
thing, Cax. Give me a survival check. Whatever you want to do.
What'd you get? That's late.
All right. So yes.
So he was
Whereas so this is what you notice,
For a second.
Cax here. Even though this is barefoot, the size is not just changing. The weight of this individual is changing too. It's very the larger footprints are very heavy individual, like set in the dirt and the mud, and then as they're growing smaller and smaller in size, the weight is also changing as well. That's why Lydia said the tracks were weird, as she put it.
All right. So we're gonna try stealth then.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I got an 8.
That's a 12 plus 7 for a 19.
So give me an Arcana check. Do you know Disguise Self, or have you used it before? Cax here. We're gonna retcon and say you never were an Eldritch Fighter, so no, you don't know. Now you can give me an Arcana check because I believe you've seen other people use it, though. I got your 24, Indy.
Nope.
Is everyone else trying to be sneaky, or is Indy scouting ahead?
I mean, I tried. I got an 8.
Okay, so Indy is
All
is like
by
it's
myself.
barely a whisper in the wind. He's just almost gliding over these fallen leaves and branches and stuff. Reshemi, try as he might, is
Dummy thick boy.
doing his best, but he is very large and he snaps the occasional twig. Caxir and Indy are both ghosts. Nat is just she's a city cat. They've grown up all their life in Water Deeps. They're not used to walking around the woods, and so all these sights and sounds are new stimuli for them, and they're like, oh, a tree. Let's try my claws against that. Oh, there's a weird smell underneath these leaves. Let's investigate that. Oh, the light is reflecting just right in the spot. Let's investigate that. And so they're making a lot of noise as every little thing is getting their attention.
What did they roll again?
An 8.
Ah.
Got a +5, but it's with disadvantage.
All right. Give me a perception check. Now.
Everybody?
I'll say the 2 people in front, because I'm assuming you're ahead of the party a little bit. Am I correct in that assumption? Or are y'all traveling?
I mean, I usually am, but are you saying that the people that have got better at stealth are moving fast?
Yes.
Okay.
That's up to them. They can. You notice the noise your party members are making. Do you want to sort of move a little faster in order to outpace them?
I mean, if I'm not being stealthy anyways.
You think you're being stealthy is the thing. Because you notice everyone else being quiet.
Then nah, they can just roll. Go ahead.
Alright, those 2 in front, give me a perception check. Which would be Indy and Cax here.
Perception check? Okay,
Yes.
here we go.
You have +10 to stealth. Oh, your expertise, right?
So 10 plus perception?
Yes.
18.
Alright. Andy hears something. Does Caxer also hear it? Okay. Caxter does not hear it, but Indy, you do hear it. You hear the sound of... Now, you've camped out in the woods a lot on the road. You know what it sounds like when someone's setting up and breaking down camp. This sounds like someone is breaking down camp, but doing it in a hurry.
In a hurry?
Yes. The clatter
Okay.
of pots and pans, the...
I start running in that direction.
All right. Do you
Does
tell
it
your
mean we know?
Do you tell your party mates as well, or do you just take
yeah,
off?
Yeah. Actually, I'll just take off because like that's.
All right. Andy bursts into a sprint. Caxer's right next to him. The other 2 are about 15 feet back. Do you also run?
Yes.
All right. So you run this person. You basically come upon this. You see that you run up until you come into this clearing, and you see in that clearing there is a very small camp set up, probably for 1 person. There's a tent here. It's a very small fire going. There's some pots and pans around it and some utensils. You see that possibly that dagger that you identified as well, Nat. And the figure you see trying to, take all their stuff with them and flee rather unsuccessfully because there's just so much stuff they're trying to carry in their arms. It's a very small, very androgynous looking child or very small creature. Child size. They stare at you with terrified eyes that are almost black in both the pupil and the whites are all black. And then
how far away are they?
their skin is very pale in comparison. They're about 30 feet away, and they see you, and they look very scared, and they try to flee.
Can I try to do something or we roll?
Yes, you can. Let's roll for advantage. Let's roll initiative.
Wait.
What?
Initiative?
They see you ran up here. They see you. You see them. Let's just roll initiative.
Okay.
See what goes on.
I haven't had to wrangle a child in some time.
Oh wait, hold on. We don't have the things tokens.
You can just drag those
So
in.
that's a 5 plus 5 for 10.
How do I do it?
No need to worry about.
You just go to your name and not anything else, but your name where it says Nat Rosewood and drag from there. Yep, there you go.
Okay. Click on and out.
And like always, for the default token, I will use Venning such a good boy and helps us out so much.
17. It's like, please let me go first. I got an actual.
I believe you said you put him back in his. No, wait, he was around you, so he'd probably be around your neck or wherever he goes with you. However, he travels with you.
Let me know if you hear gunfire. I live close to a military base.
All right, 10. So they rolled a 10.
Yeah, I hear it all pop.
Wait, those are fire. Who is lighting up fireworks?
Yeah, why? What's the point?
Hold on, I'm gonna close my window. If you guys can hear it, I'm assuming so, since.
I mean, it's up to you. You can always just, you're trying to be super sneaky, you can always just pop him back into that, you know, subdimensional space and then resummon him.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Cax, I got a 5 + 5.
So Cax got an 8.
Almost an 18.
And Indy got a 10. Indy,
Yep.
you have a higher dex than this kid, so you will go first.
Cool.
Or not first, but you'll go before them. The only one that's going to go after them is Cax. Alright, I'm going to roll initiative for Indy to put him in.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
It's
testing
fine.
something.
Alright. And that is the quickest to react. What do you do?
Then using Solstice Pancake, can you use a new spell? I cast Charm Person.
Alright.
Ooh.
Save DC is cast these kind of spells. 14. Man, I gotta up my charisma.
Yes, you do.
I really need to. It's gonna be so long till I get an ASI.
Alright, let me see. They don't have any resistances to this like an elf would. I'm just trying to see. Okay. So they will roll, let's say they don't really have a class because they're a kid. So let's just say they have a +2 to all their saves.
That's a buff kid. That kid is a higher strength than me.
How dare.
Alright. It is. So it's you see the eyelids flutter a bit and like it goes like a bit maybe like woozy, but then they sort of shake their head and turn to run again. Now you still have your movement.
Yeah, I'm gonna run right up next to him. I can't do anything else.
Ah!
Hey, what you doing there, kid?
Go away!
Well, I think you got some stuff that isn't yours there.
That's all you can say as a free action.
Uh-huh. But yeah, that will be the end of.
Yeah, so you're right up next to them. They're within 30 feet of you. You can do an opportunity attack, a non-lethal, of course, if they try to run away from you. If they don't, try to disengage, of course. But Rashemi. Vera says, of course, I don't have to tell you we're not going to be murdering any children today.
Of course not.
Yeah, I don't know how much you lose it when you rage. Maybe don't do that.
How far away from the
30 feet.
From them are 30 feet? Oh, I'll walk up to them and grapple them.
Alright, contesting strength roll. And I realize I meant mental statistics +2 and dex. Obviously not constitution and strength. So constitution, they are a child, so I'd have them at -1 probably.
It's not athletics, is it?
For a grapple?
Grapple? What is grapple?
Should have just grappled. I'm way better at.
I believe grapple, let me see, I'll look at the rules.
God, I forgot.
I know it's strength for you, maybe?
Yeah,
and it's either dex or it's either athletics or acrobatics for them.
But I forget if what I roll to actually
Athletics.
try to grapple. I think I just grapple them with an action.
Yeah, it says
and they can escape.
it must be one size no more than one size larger than you and must be within your reach. Using at least one free hand, basically try to grapple check. You make a strength athletics check, contested by the target strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics check.
Okay.
If you
Come
succeed,
on.
it is grappled.
God.
Alright,
Why can't
so
I
it's going to try to
go?
squirm out. It's going to be using its acrobatics, and it's going to try to do this with a +2.
Too bad.
Ho ho!
Hey.
So it is a squirming child, but you just put it in like a full Nelson, basically.
Yeah, you're great with kids, aren't you?
Let me go! Let me go!
Come here. Stop, Rest. Stop it. Nothing will happen to you if you stay quiet. But
I don't want to be killed in the woods. No.
We
You're not
won't
gonna be
kill
killed
you.
today.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not just saying like we all die eventually. Much more like a steady answer.
We all die eventually. The killers are get killed.
You
What
will
you gonna
die
do?
today, probably.
What you gonna do?
Ah! And they're squirming, but you have them. You have the situation contained, Yoshimi.
I guess it's my turn.
Yeah. I mean, we
We need turns now.
we
I
can
would
stop
talk to
the
him.
out of the initiative order if you want, because you have restrained this child.
I have the child.
Alright.
You're a dad now.
Congrats.
Put him in this Pokeball.
Child added to Pokedex.
Yeah, like okay, kids, so why'd you steal it?
I didn't steal it. I found it.
Inside somebody else's store?
Maybe.
Crinkle.
He's unwrapping one of the candies that he's pulled.
Yeah, him unwrapping one of like the cornerstones, just eating it quietly.
I found this perfectly made cornerstone in the woods.
I silently hand one to him.
Oh,
He,
yeah.
To them.
he can't eat it because his arms are pinned by Rishimi. Or sorry,
I will
they
feed
can't eat
him
it.
one.
Was it poison? Get it away from me! That.
Why would I eat it if it was poison?
I didn't. Did you say you took a bite of it first? I thought you just said you were feeding him it.
I took a bite of one and I'm handing him the other.
They initially turn their face away.
Come on, it's good.
Assume that it's poison, but then you hear their stomach growling, and they look very sheepishly.
Let their arms go. Mm.
All right, kid. Don't make me roll 12 again.
Yeah, come on, just tell us why you were stealing. What's going on? Who are you?
What's your name?
I'm sorry. They snatch with almost like surprising quickness the cornerstone out of your hand, and it is gone in a second.
Yeah.
And you just see the evidence of crumbs around their face. And they say, as they're eating, there's a swallow, and they say, my name's Ren.
Ren, nice to meet you.
I didn't steal it. I found that stuff. I didn't steal
Inside
it.
of stores where they belong to other people.
They may have.
I think you need to look up what the definition of stealing is. All right.
Do you know how to read?
No.
I don't feel
We've
bad.
got-
A
we got
lot of
some-
kids don't know how.
We've got a friend who can teach you.
What does Indy know how to read?
Yes.
I wasn't mean.
Listen, I know it was. I know it was wrong, but I needed that stuff more than they did.
Why did you need it?
and they say, "'Cause I needed it to survive."
Do you have any parents?
Mm, I assume I do, but I don't know where they are.
When was the last time you saw them?
They think for a second. I don't know.
Okay, well, something tells me that you. Do we have an orphanage around here?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, maybe somebody. Look, you should ask for help. Like, I mean, people are gonna pity a kid, gonna help you, okay?
No, people don't like me.
Well, probably because you steal stuff, kid, okay?
No, like they don't. They just. You're the first people that like tried to talk to me. Everyone else just. They said They say I give them bad vibes or something. They don't like me.
Is that
You
why?
said his eyes were black, right?
Yes.
Or their eyes were black. Okay, well, you know, like, look at us. We're weird too, right? Like, I'm a walking fox. They've got horns and stuff,
Do it then.
but we do nice things.
Yeah, she says you're
okay?
weird, huh? Oh, sorry. They say you're weird, huh? Do it then. Do it.
Do what? Do what?
Do it.
Can I see if I know anything about? See if I know doppelgangers, changelings, etc. Like, do I know what he's referring to?
Have you encountered one before? Is the thing.
I don't know. I went to school though, so.
Do you have a thaumaturgy or prestidigitation that can change your eye color? Because if you do, then you can.
Looking through.
All right, if you do it, if you
So why don't
change
we
your
use
eye
the
color.
tieflings?
While I'm on the subject, what's the weather going to be like? 24 hours.
The weather is going to be slightly cloudy. It may start to rain in a next couple of days.
Okay. All right.
So when you make your eyes look just like theirs, they go, "Oh, you are weird like me."
We're all kind of weird.
Yeah.
Float down.
It's just
Yeah. Only Shami's not weird. Well, I mean, he talks to a sword, so that's kind of weird. But still, see, everybody's weird. You just have to show people the good parts.
I tried a lot, but it happens when I don't mean it or want it to. Like sometimes if I sneeze or I'm really happy and I laugh too hard or I'm scared.
Yeah, we've had someone here. I stare at Nat, who's had some problems like that before. You're not alone.
Oh, I did do that. Yeah, there was this one time when I did some magic and all my hair fell out. Another time it turned all blue. It really hated my hair.
You turned into a plant once too. It was a
I
enlightening
did. I
experience.
turned into a plant.
As soon as you
giant.
when you say I turned into a plant, Ren says, "Well, I can't do that. But I can do other stuff."
You know what? I bet. Okay, so first, could I think that maybe this kid has basically the makings of a wild magic sorcerer?
Indy, give me an intelligence check.
Okay. I'm trying to make a meme right now related
This is
to
a
what's going
callback.
on.
This is a way callback to something that's occurred in your past. So I'm trying to see.
Okay. Just a general intelligence check.
Yes, because you're recalling a piece of information. It's not something you've read like history would be, but you're trying to remember something someone has told you.
Okay, so that's a 13 plus straight intelligence 2, so a total
Alright.
of 15.
You recall that way back when you were in Waterdeep and you stayed at the Yawning Portal, you met a contact of yours from the Harper organization that had a job for you. And that job was to wrangle up a bunch of creatures they referred to as doppelgangers. And they said to be very careful with dealing with them because they can change their shape and their appearance. And you think you're not certain if this wren is also a doppelganger, but they might be something very similar, if not exactly that.
Okay.
There was a woman that worked at the Yawning Portal that was one. Her name was Bonnie, I believe. And your contact was, I forgot his first name, but his name is Two Strings, his last name, because his instrument only has 2 strings on it.
Okay.
All right. But Rengoku's like, yeah, I just can't control all the time, and I try to be nice, and then when people see me do that, they get scared and they run me out of town.
I'm sorry. I know how it feels to not be very liked.
See, I think the problem is the presentation. All right, if it's some unexpected thing, then sure, people are going to be weird. But if you do it, can you do it on your own terms? First off, let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, why don't you be like, hey guys, check out this cool, awesome thing I can do, and then boom, you show it to them.
They get scared
And that
still.
way, it's not. Have you tried that before?
They get scared still.
Well, that's just plain mean.
Yeah.
I think perhaps their life experiences are different than ours. Can I obviate them?
Yes, you can.
Okay, one second.
It's a wisdom check, I believe.
Yeah, it's weirdly insight, which I'm
It's insight.
okay at.
And then you can learn 3 things about them, I believe.
Oh, real quick, while we're on this, can I? What is this thing that you're doing? I mentioned some other people they are very interested in how you're doing.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Like, what is this ability, whatever thing that Rashemi's doing? I talked to some other people about it, and I didn't remember what it was called, and they were very interested.
Is this IRL or in-game you're saying this?
IRL.
He is using his obviator ability. It's sort of like you're sizing up your opposition, basically.
Okay, is that a thing from
Acquisitions Inc. Supplemental book. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Specifically, it is called Job Abilities Obviator. It's called Read the Opposition.
Okay.
I can post it
I'll be
into.
sure to let them know.
It's good because it's a bonus action, but you can only do it once a day.
Interesting.
So you learn 3 details of your choice. So those were just examples there. They don't have to be from that list. So for instance, you could learn its race. You could learn. It already told you its name.
Yeah. Do I recognize this now as a doppelganger or some kind of monstrosity at least?
This would be. This is we're going to break from Raw a little bit, because I looked at what doppelgangers look like, and this is not the figure before you. This is a changeling.
Okay. So this is probably not something I'm familiar with.
No. You haven't heard of this before? Vera whispered to you, they're very rare.
But I guess by knowing it's not a doppelganger, then that sort of changes my perception a little bit. I would like to know maybe personality traits and flaws.
Let's see. Personality traits would be like the D&D ones. Let me get some examples to pull from.
Yeah, like is this like acting like a normal kid would? Like, am I getting that it's like it has a human intelligence, basically?
Yeah, so personality traits is right now it looks like they are very. They're trying their best to fit in. They seem to be like most kids. They just want to fit in with other kids around their age and make friends. But
Yeah.
and then their flaw is there's a deep fear that they will be rejected, that people will figure out what they really are or see them change and then shun them because of it.
Okay. Well, knowing that, I'll say I don't think their experiences are anything like ours. I think they will probably be alone their entire life. Sorry, kid.
Looks sad for a second, says, and just defiantly says, I'm tough, I can handle it. But there's an obvious, based on your insight, so there's obvious sadness there when you said that. Like,
No one's tough when they're your height or your age.
oh really, my height, huh? And then there's
Do
this,
they just
and then they
grow?
change to this massive, hulking, like just huge dragonborn, like
It's Dinar.
rippling muscle, like golden scales. Seven. Let's say they're like 7'2" or 7'4" feet tall, and then the voice does change with it too, because the vocal cords are different. It's like, what was that about my height?
I'll look up and stare right in their eyes and just say, from where I'm standing, you've grown no bigger.
They deflate back into their normal self.
Now listen,
Yeah, height doesn't matter. Look at me.
we need to find you someplace where someone could care for you, someone that will understand. I look at everyone else. Do you guys know someone who might take care of odd magical creatures?
Waterdeep has an orphanage, but I don't know if they take weird magical entities.
No, they'll never find a place among common people.
Raisin is servant of Lathander.
That's even
Yeah.
worse.
She
Well,
she makes.
everybody
Oh, sorry.
beautiful
Ren
eyes is
Ren
funny
makes a
lord.
face when you say Lathander,
Oh.
in a church specifically.
Hmm. You know
Oh,
that?
come on. I'm sure that, they would be happy to help.
He says, I was starving and so hungry that a priest gave me food once, and I was so happy that when I was full I burped, and when I changed, and they saw me and ran me out, and they began casting something that burned my skin a lot, and it hurt.
Well,
sorry.
they might have thought you were a demon or something. You should see, this is why you gotta let people know beforehand so they're not startled and make rash decisions.
Would they have believed them?
I don't know, probably.
I sort of shake my head a little bit and say, no, they need to find someone who will understand and who has a lot of free time on their hand to rear a child.
Oh, but I was
I
just
can't
thinking,
think of anyone.
I don't know, is your friend there?
I look
And they point at the Rashemi's sword. It's like, is your friend there good with swords? Maybe if you raise by the blade.
What are you talking about?
Well, you were fighting dragons. I was training with the blade. I'll look at.
I'm proud of myself for that one.
He says it's we've been collecting a menagerie of sorts at the Clinks and Drinks. I don't know how great an idea it is to bring
A child.
there, but it might be something we could do at least in the meantime. Hey kid, are you hungry still?
It's a stomach growl.
We have some food back at our house. You may know it.
Oh, that's
You
that
wanna
new
tell
place that I
yeah.
found some nice vegetables at.
You want those maybe like cooked or something? Maybe like in a meal, an actual meal. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Well, come on, we'll go. Don't make me grapple you.
No, I'll go.
Well, did you ever put them down?
You let
I
them
imagine-
go to eat the cornerstone.
Yeah, and I imagine when they turn into a 7-foot dragonborn, I probably couldn't be holding
Yeah.
them then either.
Yeah, believe me. I mean, you'll be. I mean, come on. You probably won't be the weirdest thing. I mean, I've got an elk that's made out of leaves. Okay.
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah, you can ride. He's friendly. You can ride him with, isn't him?
Yeah, I guess we can go back to the Clinks and Drinks.
All right. You guys make your way back to Clinks and Drinks. Lydia was there with you. She was ready. I forgot to roll for her, but she was ready to crack some skulls.
yeah.
But seeing this kid, she can't, you know. She's like, she hears his story. She's like, I'll give you all the vegetables you want. She's crying.
Oh my god. Could be a future ward of yours, Lydia. Be careful.
And that she's like,
I finished. No, I messed up my meme. Hold on, gotta delete it.
is this in the Discord?
I deleted
Yeah,
it.
he deleted it.
I just see some like soft serve or something or churros.
Yeah.
It got messed up.
Yeah.
Why can't I copy and paste the same image?
All right.
For a baby.
So you make your way back to Clinks and Drinks. There, your cook. It's getting to be about dinner time. Your cook is Harlow Fontaine is working, you know, prepping and cooking up appetizers for people and stuff like that. The early dinner crowd, the senior citizens, so to speak. I'm assuming you guys go to the kitchen, or do you just sit at the bar and ask for some food? Or you can go to a booth, of course, or a table. You have those as well.
We just sit at the table. Yeah.
All right. So they come into a building, and they look to be as soon as you come into Clinks and Drinks is a very large establishment. And when they come in, they sort of are looking around, like really quickly to take in the situation. Give me an insight check. Let's see who this would be best for. Rashemi, Indy, and Caxier.
Okay, good.
Insight
Okay,
check.
let's see.
Because I always roll.
So, insight check?
Yeah.
Insight check, huh?
Just for Roshan.
Nope.
Insight check? That's a 3 plus
Oh, dang.
3, so 6.
Okay. So you just see their gaze and their head shift around rapidly, but you don't know the meaning behind it. Caxier, what did you roll?
Wait, are we all rolling?
I'll give this to all of you, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay. There it is. Dirty 20?
Oh, thank God.
Okay, Caxier, you know this well. Well, they are sizing up everyone in this tavern. They are looking for exits and trying to plan an escape route to head if things go south. Type. We'll say you guys sit down at a table and
I'll order up some like stews and things like that, hearty stuff.
yeah, Valora comes over and asks for your order. Okay. Valora comes over and smiles at Ren and says, "Oh, well, what can I get for you?" And yeah, so they are. Mai is because they're small and fuzzy, and Ren is gripping them like a cat, basically. Maybe a bit too tight, but appears that Ren does like. Yeah, well, you're gripping them. Yeah, so probably almost the same size, or a little bit smaller than Ren, but because Ren, you would guess, is probably age-wise is about 6, maybe 7. And so yeah, animals don't judge, so that's probably why Ren is so taken with Mai.
Yeah, I'll say to Valor, just get them some stews and some bread and some water just to let them have something to eat. And I'll take some meat and cheese and some wine, dark as you go.
All right, coming right up. And she comes by a few minutes later, and it's obviously they've made a double portion of stew for Ren, and because it's as big as their face, and Ren's eyes just go wide when they see it. This is all for me?
Better when it's all together, huh?
And then they don't even use a spoon. Maybe they don't know how. They transform their hands into like spoon-like implements and begin just.
Oh.
Not know they could do that.
That's horrifying.
I just frown.
Now it is larger surface area than the spoon, so they're just like shoveling in their face as fast as possible, and because it's so hot, Ren will say and you'll see that their hands, while maintaining a spoon-like shape, are getting a sheen of scales, of dragon scales on them.
Oh my god.
Now it's not
That's
each
so
individual
fucking
finger; it's the
gross.
whole hand has turned into a spoon, basically.
A dragon scaled spoon?
Yes.
That's another idea for what we can do with our scales.
I look around the room. Is
I
anyone
think we're all
watching
out of
this?
So you're kind of people. Here's the thing: it's still like for senior citizens and stuff like that. Like this is the early bird special for dinner, essentially.
Spoon
So there's not a lot of people in your place right now, but you get the people who do visit this know what you're like. That you're weird people and you travel with weird people. I wouldn't say weird, because weird carries negative connotations. I would say eccentric individuals, and you travel with fellow other eccentric individuals. And so they sort of there is a because of mostly it's how fast they're eating is what's getting stares, but then they sort of shrug and go back to their drinking and their eating.
I'll knock them on the head and say, "Don't do that. Use a normal spoon." And I'll hand them.
It's so weird. I don't like it, and it's so small. And I just got so hungry I couldn't help myself.
Consider this lesson 1 then. Your homework is to use a spoon.
They hold it like some maybe kind of like how Westerners will use chopsticks for the first time. They're not sure how. They've seen people obviously use these implements.
This is a call out post to me specifically.
They've seen other people obviously use these implements for eating, but they have no understanding of how to do it themselves, and so they're like
I've had the owner of a Japanese restaurant drop a fork on my plate one time.
Oh,
my
man.
god, that's very sad.
Like the worst.
That's the biggest insult there. When I was younger, I went to Korean restaurants with my parents. My mom is the only Caucasian person in the restaurant, so she would bring a fork. But it was because it was just packed full of all these Korean individuals, and we grew up using chopsticks. So yeah, she would just bring a fork with her. She'd just go to town on the Korean barbecue and stuff. But yeah, it's like that. It's like they're obviously not used to using a spoon, and so they're just trying their best. They're looking very sad and miserable, but it's punctuated by moments of happiness whenever they do finally put the spoon to their lips and eat the soup.
I sort of just nod approvingly. And I'll get to town, carving up cheese, taking some bites of cured meat.
What's that?
Well, it's a little, but have you tried cheese before?
It's kind of weird. But it's
There's
good.
this like I've heard other kids talk about it, but I've never had it. What is it?
I'll cut a thin piece and then put it on top of the stew.
Oh, okay.
So
They
you
they,
get
they
the
lean
flavor.
into the steam of the stew and sniff and try to figure out like what is it, and they poke it with the spoon, but it begins to melt into the stew, and they go, oh, and then Ren takes a big cheesy spoonful of stew and melted cheese and eats it, and
I
there's a
say, careful, it's dangerously cheesy.
and there's just this huge beaming smile on their face when they eat it.
And I have now become Chester Cheetah right next to them.
More!
If anything, I feel like that would be Chester Cheetah.
Just spray paint their fur orange.
Come on. I've already had
That
a
was-
blue. I don't need any more colors. Thank you.
I mean,
I know.
technically, in
red.
prestidigitation, you could change that. You could give them a mark that changes a small patch of fur to orange.
Stop.
All we're
I
saying
got
is
this.
could be
I
Chester
got
Cheetah.
this. I got this.
Go away. I will make skunk smells. I can do that. You stay away from me.
Let's not
Technically,
cause violence.
and you also couldn't cover all of Nat at most because it's only 1 cube foot. So at most, Nat's for something. You would get up if you both of you combine your powers. It'd be half Nat orange, the rest pink.
I cast Disguise Self.
Now that is only on yourself. That is not on someone else.
I know. I
You
know.
can just become Chester Cheetah, though.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was my plan. I'm
All
now
right.
Chester
You
Cheetah.
turn into some weird anthropomorphic cheetah,
Oh my
With
god.
shades.
Disgusting.
and it's just gross.
But like
I say, whoa, it's Chester Cheetah.
they're not real shades. They're just like they're like someone painted
They're a
shades
part
onto
of
my
your
face.
flesh.
Yeah. It's horrible.
That's thaumaturgy. Presentation is something similar, but I'm talking about the mark part of presentation, changing the color of something.
Ren probably loves that, though.
They look at you and they're like, "That looks weird
Wow.
and gross.
See,
Why would you change into that?"
there's a lot of weird stuff.
It's I can't explain.
It's magics.
You'll understand it when you've had enough cheese.
But they are obviously reaching for this wedge of cheese you have. They're saying, "More, more."
I will.
Like that video from the game Grumps, where he's just screaming more that thing around his mouth.
They're reaching with
Don't
their tiny
steal
little
it from me,
arms can't reach
alright?
it, so they're trying. But
I'll say, if you'd like some cheese, you can look me in the eyes and say, "Can I have some cheese?"
all right, they look into your eyes with these big black like just orbs, and there are little like bits of moisture at the end of the eyes. It's their probably their doggy
God.
eyed face, and they were like, cheese,
Cheese, please.
cheese,
Baby.
please.
And I say absolutely, and I start cutting more cheese into their soup.
Do not give them a stomach ache, all right?
Getting a stomach ache is part of life.
But yeah, you
Yeah, it turns out
continue
they're
to give
just
them
terribly lactose intolerant.
give
Oh,
them
yeah, you
cheese
just
and
Chemical warfare.
who
well,
needs to
I don't
cast
know if they
stinking?
could, because they can literally alter their like genetic composition to be whatever they want. So I'm
Who
assume that
needs to cast stinking cloud when you have lactose intolerance?
I would assume that like genetic
This
diseases don't.
poster brought to you by the lactose tolerant gang.
But I would assume like genetic diseases and mutations don't affect them because they can just alter their genetic code at will, essentially.
That's weird.
To be honest, it'd be really cool to have their power. To have that power.
Of course.
But yeah, they and you continue to feed Rashemi cheese to Ren until they are done eating, and it's that stereotypical like large belly, like and they're like just going wah, and they sigh as a large belly and they're patting it. You're not sure if it's due to actually how much food they've consumed or if Ren is just doing it merely for effect. But they appear to be quite content, and they're using Mai as a pillow now, as they sort of lie back down.
That's so cute.
I will take Cax aside to talk to them about keeping watch on them. Because basically I'll just say, I don't feel good about the chances of them staying the whole night. But if they do, or if they choose to run, I think it would be a good idea to keep eyes on them. If either you or Mai would oblige.
Is that dice or food?
Dice. And now
Aw.
I've stopped. I'm gonna eat afterwards, that's for sure.
No, I'm just hungry.
Type.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, it is getting rather late. You guys, Ren is it's getting about basically time for nighttime, time for bed, so to speak. Ren is already fallen fast asleep, being well fed and full in this nice warm place with Mai as a pillow. But what do the rest of you want to do, if anything, before you head upstairs for bed?
Do I have a room, or am I just in a...
Yes, everyone.
Okay.
I believe that there are 8.
Yeah, we should all have rooms.
There are 8.
I wasn't sure if my actual room was one of those.
I think there are 8 rooms in total. Actually, let's have it. There are 8. Let's have it to be 10 rooms in total.
Okay.
So it's basically the rooms you have are 6 for one for each of you, and then there's one for Metis, and there's one for Lydia, and there's 2 sort of guest rooms there that are a lot larger, that are sort of for more people. I think you can fit. Whereas yours are probably for 1 or 2 people at most. These rooms are more like can be big, larger rooms for like maybe parties of 4 to 6. But your rooms are obviously more well furbished as well than those larger rooms, because they're sort
Okay,
of
cool.
they're just sort of designed for you. You can put up decorations as you see fit, you know, any rugs, personal accoutrement, that sort of thing. I
I'll nod
believe Valora does sleep in yeah, one of those rooms is where your staff sleeps. Valora herself sleeps in Aveline's room though, so technically you have one open large room for guests or anyone to sleep in.
VIPs.
Yeah, but if Reyna's going to sleep in Caxier's room, that's fine as well.
Yeah, I'll nod at Cax and I'll say I'll see if I can't get our wizard friend to maybe rig something up as well. But who knows? They might learn to like it here, and we should 100% keep watch for someone who could probably take care of them better than us.
Sounds like a plan.
Just keen the door or queen the door.
So, I'd probably go over and ask Vera, and ask her to, like, in the morning, like...
So Vera is not here.
Oh.
Vera is in the Silvery Moon. As in your friend from Team Palace, correct?
Yes.
Yes, you can talk to her via Caxier's amulet,
Yeah.
though.
I'll do that.
Of course, it is hanging around Caxier's neck, so you'll have to inform her.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, you can just compose a message. You can say what you want to send.
Yeah. Like, hey, we've got a kid here. Oh, I'm gonna ask you. Like, ask them, like, hey, we've got a kid here who doesn't know how to read. You taught, Freya how to read. Do you mind potentially doing the same for this young kid who has some unique abilities? They can shapeshift.
The response you get back is, "Oh my gosh, I will be there first thing in the morning."
Fantastic.
She says, I was planning on going to Waterdeep to get some spell components for these scrolls I'm making, but yeah, I can stop by Triboar.
Great.
Shumi begins to sweat for an unknown reason.
Yeah, he's just like getting ready for bed. He's getting a chill in his spine. It's like, I don't know, what was that?
Probably.
And if it was anime, you would sneeze.
I don't get it.
In anime, when they talk about another character or something does something like behind a character's back, they will cut to that character sneezing. It's in Japanese.
In Japanese culture,
it's in
that,
Japanese
like, if
culture
you
is
sneeze
why
for
they
no
say
reason,
you
somebody's
sneeze.
talking about you behind your back.
Okay. I guess I like don't understand why it would cause that.
Well, it's any kind of superstition. It makes no sense.
It's
like saying sneezing and saying bless you.
Like why would Indy's asking Vera to come? Why would that make Rashemi sneeze?
Because
It
Rashemi.
doesn't matter. We can talk about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. The conversation was with Vera, the conversation was with Vera, and no one else heard it because it was in his mind. So he was just talking to Vera.
It is all insular to just Rashemi, thankfully.
Yeah, luckily she taught you how to do that. Okay. But yeah, so you guys head to bed. You carry Ren to your room, Caxier. They are very small, so you don't need any help to do this. A strength of probably 8 or 10 would suffice.
What a small bean.
Yeah, they're 6 years old, so I mean, And yeah, you just carry him up to your bed. Yeah, I'm just saying, like a normal human can carry a 6-year-old. Even a weak human can carry a 6-year-old, no problem. That's what I was saying. If you
I
have
mean, that's called a parent.
yeah, I'm saying if you have a strength score in this game, that would transfer to a strength score of at least 8. You're fine.
Cool.
That would be no checks required. That's what I was saying. Yeah, they're also super skinny. And yeah, you bring them up to your room, and just lay them to bed, and the rest of you go to sleep.
I shoot up in bed. Oh wait, we were supposed to talk to the Lord Protector about it.
You
I guess we'll do that tomorrow.
guys can do that
I guess
tomorrow.
that's a problem for tomorrow, Rashin.
Yep. And so you guys we're gonna end soon, but I'll leave you guys with this. You guys basically go to bed and you wake up. Ren is still there. They have not left in the night. And you guys hear as you sort of go downstairs, you hear a knock on the door.
Whoever's down there opens it, I guess.
All right, and when it cacks here, you get it, and in front of you, you see Farah, who surprises you with a green hug. And she says as much. She says, "Hello, hug!" And she just hugs you really quick.
It's like a horror movie.
And she says, and she's holding something in her hand as well. And she says, "Oh, your mail carrier came by and handed this to me as I was walking up."
What is it?
It is a letter, and it has a curious-looking sort of sigil on it. It looks like a family crest almost.
Oh.
And inside, it says, one second.
To all whom it may concern.
It's more personalized than that. Give me some credit. Come on. Okay. It says, the Emmerich noble, the Waterdavian. Sorry, let me reword that. I'm playing word jujitsu in my mind. The Waterdavian noble family, the Emmerichs, request the presence of one Aaron Emmerich, and then in parentheses, also known as Independence or Indy, in parentheses, to attend the reading of his father's will in Waterdeep at his earliest convenience.
I'm sorry?
Is your dad dead?
I think your dad's fucking dead, dude.
Not
Faked it.
the one who raised?
And that is what it is.
Do you know that what?
And that's where we'll pick up next.
That is-
3.
That is what you got. And so you sort of run up to Indy's room and Bear's looking around like, "Now where's this kid I'm supposed to teach?" And that will be the end of the episode.